day 15. It's been a long road. This is one of my more exciting areas of learning that really started to open up a lot. And once I begin to understand it, and these metaphysical things started happening to me, then once I heard that if you're doing the right things, the universe will show you that you're doing the right things. It'll give you a thumbs up. Once we break down all of these negative walls around you that largely our society hands us and kind of expects us to be in, I'm going to go a little too far here. Maybe it's a means of control. It's easy to control a group when they're scared, right? Because they're searching for answers. They're not delivering answers. They're searching for answers when they're scared. So confusion moves to fear. Fear kind of moves to someone who can't think for themselves. So anytime in your world, when you're in a fight or flight situation, your mind turns off a large part of your ability to think. You don't need that. When the lion shows up to eat you, you need to do one of two things. Kind of fight back or play dead, kind of like deer in the headlights, where you just, predator usually doesn't like to go after dead animals. He wants to kill, he wants to go ahead and fight, if you will. Or run, flight. So to do that, to survive, that's what your mind is built to do, keep you survive. You don't need to have emotion, love, caring, understanding, logic. You throw all of that out the window. So for a lot of people that constantly live in this fight or flight being, you can't get into areas of thinking. You can't get into mass areas of positivity. And in that universe, there's no inspiration. No inspiration, especially if you're not looking for inspiration, right? If I'm not even looking for success, if I'm not even looking for the answers to these questions, and they do come to me, I'm not going to recognize them. I wasn't looking for them at all. So that's why I've been walking you down this road to tear down the walls that are holding us back from seeing and receiving, to be deliberate about knowing what it is we want and why, to be acknowledging what it is that we want to get where we want to be, to have the questions that we need answered, so that once we get there, we're now ready for inspiration. Now that is where things get really, really cool. And I've studied inspiration quite a bit, and I've received giant amounts of inspiration all at once, and I've spoken about them before, where I needed to write them down. I was in weird areas that just started flashing in my mind at weird times. Walking into a restaurant, walking through a grocery store, things just started appearing in my mind, just right in front of me, and I was thrown back, like, what is that? It's amazing. In the book, Big Magic, love that book. So the title is Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert. She's the author that wrote Eat, Pray, Love, the big movie with, I believe, Julia Roberts. Big movie, big author. She's awesome. It's a great book. I encourage anybody to please study, read, listen to that book. I'm going to paraphrase her story. In her story, she speaks about being in the middle of nowhere so you write a book, and then you kind of travel around, go to different bookstores, and you have signings to meet people, right, to get the word out about your new book. And she would be in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. And after the book signing, she's packing up her things and she's leaving. She remembers being cornered, and the lady stopped her and said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I know that you stole my book. You stole my entire storyline. I don't know how you got it, but that's my book. That is my storyline. At first when this happened, she wrote it off. Whatever. That person's not in their right mind. But when it happened again and again, she thought, do people just do this? Just come up to you, claim you stole their book? Then she started writing her own book. She wrote the storyline, a very specific storyline about a lady and a man who were doing certain things, and he was from a specific part of the world and she was from a very specific part of the world, and their story and what they would do. So she had the outline to the T. She had it all down, and it was awesome. She's writing it and writing it, and then she gets into writing the book. And she's going several chapters in, but then life happens. Things start to stall, and she stops. She puts it on the shelf. She has to. She has some major life events happen. Years go by. And then she gets called to go to a group where a bunch of authors get together. And she meets with someone that she knows. And she believes at this instance where she goes in to hug this person to tell them goodbye, and she gives them a light kiss on the cheek, that at that moment, something happened. A couple years goes by, and she's looking at books that come out and bestsellers, and her friend released a book. She's like, hey, just letting you know I released my new book. She's like, oh, awesome, I want to read it. The book that her friend wrote, and again, this is from her, this is from Elizabeth Gilbert, I'm not making this up. Her friend's book was her exact story that she had written down. It was identical all the way through. She couldn't believe it. She could not believe it. This person had her exact book, her exact story, published, went on to be a New York Times bestseller. So at that moment, she stopped and said, whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on here? That sent her down a completely different road to understand inspiration. So her takeaway is that she truly believes that inspiration comes to us. And if we use it, cool. If we act on it, awesome. If we take action, great, and more inspiration will come. Or if we don't, inspiration visits us, we don't do anything with it, goes to the next person. Bye, gone. So what she will do, let's say inspiration does come to her, she will acknowledge it with the universe, and then she may not be ready. So you know what, right now in my life, I'm not ready to take action on that. I am not. I'm wanting more inspiration in the future. Please move on to someone else with this inspiration. I can't take action on it. So she will acknowledge it. And then, sure enough, go somewhere else. And she's ready for her next amount of inspiration. And she acknowledges it. Maybe she's going to use it and she take action, and she's very deliberate about taking action. She puts a timeline to it, she goes, she gets on it, no matter what's stopping her, she is going to take action and get that out and get it done. So she feels she's in a constant stream of inspiration. So it's like you going and asking a friend to go do something, and they say no, or they don't acknowledge you, you're going to stop going. You're going to go over here to this person that says yes. Same thing. So to break down these barriers, the one thing that I do know is if we're in a bad state in our lives, and I'm going to argue this is a lot of people with their negative thoughts, they're inflamed, they're overweight, they're always just not feeling right, they're just watching TV, they're not even trying to create, not even trying. Yeah, they might see inspiration, or it might visit them randomly, maybe even in a dream, and they'll just pass it off as a weird thought. Next, that's not me, I don't do that. So I would love to get you to the point where we've done everything that we've done, and we're acknowledging that we are ready for inspiration. And we wake up, and we are having that perfect day. We're ready for the inspiration. I believe many of us in the past were not having such a perfect day. Negativity, there's just us feeling bad. Maybe I had way too much drink the night before, maybe even the night before that. I have high anxiety. I have a bad relationship with this person or that person. And inspiration came to my door. It kind of goes along with, you can't be angry when you're happy. You can't be happy when you're angry. There's this choice to live in this one state. So for me, when I put all that to the side, it was just above all of that, and I broke down all my barriers, and I had my questions, and I was ready for inspiration, it came to me. Just like I talked about before, being able to put all this in one area where I could put it on paper, knowing, and this came to me in a restaurant, and I wrote it down, and I'm gonna try and put it here on the screen if I can find it. But the first thing, it just looked like this. And number one was our beliefs. Number two was our mental health. Number three, if we knew our beliefs and then our mental health, that would dictate our physical health. Then that would dictate our skills, our skill level, if we put these together. And then that would dictate our actions, minute to minute, year to year. So every one fell on each other. So if I told someone, hey, let me walk through this exercise with you, one will dictate the other, I can help somebody improve their lives if they follow that method. That came to me in a matter of a second, flashed when I was walking into a restaurant. I had to stop and I had to write it down. I drew out exactly what I saw. I filled everything in, and it just started pouring down like I was downloading a file. It was just nuts. And that was a part of my process now that allowed me to put together my first book and write a giant book, which became a big series of facts that I needed to put into play so someone can help themselves. So it's amazing. So let's go ahead and recap. With all the acknowledgement that we've done and everything that we're doing and all the enhancements that we're making, this is what we're doing it for, to be ready for inspiration to come to us so that we can put it into play and have more fun, more excitement and fun in our passion. Getting away from this word called work, where we're over here creating and earning, helping ourselves, helping our families, helping others, living in our passion. That's what we want. So let's take action in our journal. Let's journal about inspiration that we want. What would you like inspiration in? I want to be inspired to do something in hunting. I want to be inspired to do something in being around classic cars. Whatever it is you want, let's start writing. Let's journal that down and start looking for the inspiration and be ready for the inspiration. And when it comes, let's write it out and let's take action. You got to be ready though. You can't just ask for it and not do anything. You better be ready, okay? And it will happen. All right, say it with me. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better, and better and better, and better and better. All right? Say it with me. I am amazing. And you are amazing. You are amazing. There is greatness in me. There is greatness in you. You have this. All right. You know, here we go. Say it. I got this. I got this. And you do. You got this. Thank you.